You also have Rami Malek in Until Dawn. I mean... Hi guys. So today I thought I'd make a little video discussing a video game that's going to come out this summer that I'm kind of excited about, but also... Little Hope is the newest video game created by the same people that made Until Dawn and Man of Medan. Now, I think it would be interesting for us to look at Until Dawn and why it became so popular and why everyone loved it, and compare it to Man of Medan and why that one kinda wasn't people's favorite. Or at least people didn't like it as much as Until Dawn. Obviously, it has a bit to do with the hype. Until Dawn was like this breath of fresh air, gaming-wise. I remember everyone was playing it, everyone was loving it. And then when Man of Medan was announced, we all had these high expectations and it didn't really live up to them. So let's talk about what made Until Dawn work as opposed to what didn't work as well in Man of Medan. I think that the idea for Until Dawn was just kind of lightning in a bottle. The thing that made it work was they went with these stereotypical, cliche story elements, but then they made it their own and they kind of added to it, gave it a bit of a twist. So the point was that it was going to be a horror game, and it was very your average cliche horror situation with a bunch of young people locked up in a cabin all alone, caught kind of in the middle of nowhere, and that somebody or something was killing them off one by one. I mean, depends on how you play the game, if anyone survived or not. And it's like it was kind of like Telltale at the time, where the choices you made affected the game. I feel like they kind of did this maybe a bit better than Telltale, because in Until Dawn, your choices really mattered. Like, if you've played this game and you made like one tiny mistake, you could get killed. Or your character. Your character could get killed. Could get killed. Yeah, like, for real. I think they maybe over-exaggerated even a little bit in Until Dawn, because, like, some things you couldn't even know what the... you couldn't even know what the repercussions were going to be. Like, I've watched a lot of gameplays of people playing this game, and, like, sometimes there was no way you could possibly guess that this was going to be the outcome, that one of your characters was going to get killed. But if you looked it up, or maybe if you got like hints, or yeah, I guess. So the situation was already this cliche horror situation. They also added a bunch of jump scares, especially in the beginning. Further towards the game, it kind of withered away, or you got used to it, which I'm not a big fan of jump scares, because I get... It's not a pretty picture. I will scream. I will fucking scream every time. And Until Dawn had some really big jump scares. Probably also why I don't necessarily enjoy playing this game as much as I enjoy watching other people play it, and then I can just fast forward the jump scares and don't get terrified and don't get scared out of my mind. But so they did this cliche horror setup, and they actually had a lot of kind of stereotypically horror characters. You had a bunch of young adults just being young adults, being a bunch of idiots. You had like the jock guy, you had the nerdy nice guy, you had like the sporty girl. Every teen cliche you could imagine, basically. But the thing is, they started out that way, but then they made them have a journey. They made them be more than the stereotypical. And I think it was smart to go with stereotypical character personalities that we are already familiar with and then add to them, instead of what I think happened in Man of Medan is like you don't really have these characters to go off of. You don't have these characters that we already know. And can you even remember anyone in Man of Medan? I don't remember. I literally don't remember anyone. And I think they wanted to try and be more original with the characters and be more lifelike. But I think there's no... It's not wrong to start out with a cliche or a stereotype as long as you then do something with that. You have to just build from something that we already know. And especially if it's like a horror situation. Also, where I think Until Dawn was smart, again, you have this typical cliche horror story, you think, but then it turns kind of into psychological horror. It's especially apparent with the character that Rami Malek plays. I mean, you also have Rami Malek in Until Dawn. I mean, that's where they fucked up in Man of Medan. They had to bring Rami back.
Sleepover. Can we order pizza?
But like his character really goes through a journey, and we realize that that's the meat of the story. The meat of the story were these characters and how they overcame these issues more so than the horror elements itself. Like, a creature is introduced in like the second part of the game. It's more so about the characters than about the cliche situation, like the monster. You really feel, again, this may be a preference for me, but I always think that something psychological is always a lot scarier than just your average monster. So okay, thanks Lila. Lovely addition. Yeah, I think that was a smart move to do. I think Rami Malek steals the show in this game. He's so incredible. Again, all the characters are actually likable, especially by the end of the game. I think we all wanted them to live. We didn't like we actually came to care for them. And I know a lot of people, the only characters that a lot of people seem to dislike is Emily, but I love Emily. I think she's that bitch, you know, she's that bitch. I think Ashley and the nice guy, and the nice guy, what's his face? They were probably the least fleshed out of all of them and least interesting, but still, you don't want them to die. So I think that's where what Until Dawn did really well, making us care for these characters, and especially because it's our job to keep them alive and make the right choices so they don't die. I personally also love the whole Wendigo thing. I'm a big Hannibal fan, which they also used in Hannibal, the whole Wendigo mythology. So that was also really great, interesting what they did with that. Again, Man of Medan was kind of weaker overall. The characters were a bit weaker, the story was a bit weaker. They kind of dropped they tried to go for the psychological angle, I think, but because it wasn't related so much to one of the main characters and more so to the I believe the soldiers that were on the boat or something. It's been a while, but yeah, it's kind of hard to then feel for the characters because it's their struggle. They're the one that we have to follow and we have to care about. So it's hard to do that when it's not really about them. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I think they had they had big shoes to fill after Until Dawn. Everyone loved Until Dawn. I think they kind of they had lightning in a bottle. They had great actors. They had a simple premise that kind of took off because they went more of a psychological horror way than just your average horror trope. The characters went from stereotypes that we already knew, so we could already relate to them, and then they fleshed them out more throughout the story. And especially Rami Malek's character Josh was the most interesting one, I think. And then adding the Wendigo myth kind of into the story just made it kind of even more great. So yeah, I think that's the thing. And I'm curious about Little Hope. I hope they I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see in the summer, but I think it's important to learn from what worked and what didn't work as well, and hopefully they will realize that and make some changes and make the next game great. I do believe that the following one, The Little Hope, is still part of like the world of Man of Medan. So I don't know if that's a smart thing to do or not. Maybe. But yeah, Until Dawn is just great on its own. It's probably still one of the best games in recent memory. So let me know in the comments what you think. Did you like Until Dawn? Did you like Man of Medan? What do you think about what I said? And if you have any opinions. So thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!